In the page summary, we want to tidy some stuff up. It's very, very untidy in terms of the way in which we've done things. So we're actually currently driving most of the logic for the overall costs from inside the button that should take us to back to the loan page where we can enter more details. So what we need to do is tidy those up first and foremost. So what we want to happen is that we want the total costs to load when the page loads in here. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to transfer show the values held. So that's what we're going to do first, right? So the first one to do is probably show total costs. So right at the end, we're going to take all of those and put those inside this function. So that's a void, so we're just going to do that. So we're going to do here show total costs, and then we want to take this one out and we want to have a string detail values summary. What we want to do is we want to have a string and then we can take this out of here. So up here, and this button can actually do the job it's supposed to, which is supposed to take us back to the loan page. So that's pretty good. Now what else do I want to do? Actually, I think that's it for the moment. So let's try that out. and we get all the values that we need all in one hit. We can still convert the monthlies and the weeklies, so that's really good. So what I'll do next is, I don't like the look of this form. I'm just going to change some things, and I'll show you just my overall XAML. I'll just roll through it, and you should see what you can maybe do in order to fix what you want to fix. But what I will warn you is, before you do any fixing of anything, make a backup copy of the file that you're going to change, because it doesn't make it hard to fix if you mess it up. So here's the current format of my form, my cost summary form, and I'm just going to play with some backgrounds and some fonts. I'm going to take that green away. It doesn't really go with anything, I don't think. I'm just going to change some padding values, and I'll just do this and then relaunch it for you to see the effect. And here's the new effect. I just think it's better. I've been playing around with a lot of stuff in here, and it's mostly about adding padding around these boxes just to make those things less tight together. Changing the background of this text block to light grey. Changing the background of this text block to #444, and this one, I'm putting them both inside a border with a border thickness of 2 and a brush of red. Fattening up that in terms of padding, and the same with this. Taking away the clear button because there's nothing to clear, and then doing the restart button in across the span and giving the standard format that we have given to all our buttons across the application. So it works really well. So we do restart, and it now takes us back to the loan page. So we could do the loan, and imagine that our car is £8,000. We've got £1,000 deposit. The term in years is 2, and the interest rate is 4.25. Next, and the insurance is going to be £180 per year. The fuel is £15 a week. Servicing is 50 quid a year, and the road tax is £50 per year. And you can see the values are different. The total cost of ownership, so the weekly cost of running that car is that. So it's £88 a week to run it, including the loan costs that you've got to repay. I think it looks a bit better. I would do more to it if I had time, but I'm really getting fed up with this and the amount of time I'm spending on it. So I'm going to stop that there. I will then show you the code. So a lot of this could be turned into styles, but I haven't. So for this text block, you can see the light grey, and I've put the padding in. For this text block, it's inside a border element, a container, and then you put the text block inside the border, and you give it the thickness of 2 and the brush of red. And the same here. And you've got this vertical alignment center, so, and you've got this weird name ownership with an extra E in it. I gave this one a padding of 5 and so forth, and that's just the same as that one. Put it inside a border, give the border a thickness and a brush. If I do that 4, you can see the effect that it has. 2, if I make the border brush, just change it back to red, and you can see how you can do that. It's quite straightforward in terms of how to do those, but you put the element you want to have an edge on it inside the border itself, and that's the way that works. Okay, so that's how I've restylized this. So the next thing we have to do is do a summary, and then at some stage I will do a video about how to convert this into a different problem. one that's going to be more useful for your assignment. But you've got all the skills, and this will give you a lot of skills that you could use very usefully in industry. These skills that I'm using here are very good for learning how to use HTML5. They're very useful for using TypeScript and ES6 in our Ionic. This idea of tabbing and tagging is a really important skill to learn. And it's all about markup, isn't it? It's all about markup. This is pure markup. XAML, Extensible Application Markup Language, HTML5, and the TypeScript is a markup language used in JavaScript situations. So it's all very similar and useful. So there we are. We now have an application that is complete.